So, welcome back to Cody's Movie Cave, where we're not talking about a movie again, but we're going to recap last night's House of the Dragon episode 9. Okay, 9. Yeah, we're getting on down to the wire, down to the nitty gritty. One left. So, episode 9 basically starts, the king is passed, and, we have our string of villains, Alicent and Otto and Lars and Christian Cole, who are all pretty much conspiring to dethrone or replace Rhaenyra with Aegon. And so, well, of course, Alicent thinks she heard, King Viserys on his last dying breath say that he wanted Prince Aegon to be king. Anyway, so she tells the council that, and they start conniving and scheming and planning, and admit that they had been planning all along to start a coup and place Aegon on the throne instead of Rhaenyra. Bunch of dirtbags. Anyway, so things happen, and so they immediately have to go find Aegon, who is nowhere to be found, who is in hiding, because this little weasel does not want to be king, right? And so, pretty much the rest of the episode is trying to find his little butt and bring him back. And so, Otto sends his 2 men to go find him, but Alicent wants to send her peon, minion, Christian Cole, and Prince Aemond to go find him. Then bring him to her first, which is what happens. And so everybody who's pretty much not bending the knee are on board with the whole plan of, taking the throne away from Rhaenyra is hung or imprisoned. They're trying to keep it under wrap that the king is dead until they can successfully place Aegon on the throne. And so, the cousin to the king, the princess, I forget her name. Anyway, she's one of them Targaryens. So she's locked up in her room, and she can't go anywhere either. So remember from last episode, Rhaenyra had left and stated that she would come back once all of her affairs was in order at Dragonstone over there. So there's no Rhaenyra whatsoever in this episode. There's no Daemon whatsoever in this episode. It's strictly these Hightowers and bad folks. Anyway, so things happen, a lot of political intrigue and betrayals happen, this and that and the other, and they finally bring Aegon back to, the palace there at King's Landing, and Alicent basically has a heart-to-heart meeting with him, and it's like, look, this is what your papa wanted for you, and he's like, no, he didn't even like me, this and that, and so they argue, and anyway, wind up and at his coronation, and I gotta say, this is just terrible. I feel really bad for Rhaenyra because her dad has passed, right, and she don't even know, couldn't even bury him or be at the funeral or anything, and then she's got basically replaced as her birthright to the throne. I mean, complete utter crap for Rhaenyra. Anyway, coronation's happening, this and that and the other. Oh, and the princess of Driftmark, the cousin to the king, she does wind up making an escape from out of her room, but she gets mixed up into the crowd and can't get away clean, so she winds up at the coronation disguised into the crowd. And so we got a little dirtbag here getting coronated and crowned as the new king of the Seven Realms. And as you can tell, you can kind of see on his face and his appearance that he no longer has that mentality of, I don't want to do this. I don't want to be king. I just want to go around, drink, and philander and fool about. He has a whole new look, as if he's embraced this. The powers kind of went to his head, and yeah, it's gonna be interesting. He could be a tyrant. Anyway, and so, in an amazing swoop of events, up from the ground floor comes this massive dragon. Best part of the whole episode, and it is the Princess of Driftmark, the king's cousin, riding that dragon, and she's got all them on the platform there. All the ones I can't stand. You got Otto, Alicent, Aegon, Aemon, Christian Cole, Lars, the whole herd of dirtbag scum, dead to rights with the dragon, and I'm like, just say it. Just say it, woman. Dracarys, and kill them all. And she doesn't. She winds up and flies off. Obviously, we know she's going to warn and to inform Rhaenyra and Daemon, which is what everybody that was on her side tried to do throughout this whole episode, but was either killed or imprisoned for doing so. So yeah, this whole episode was crap. I mean, I was pissed off from the minute it came on to the minute it ended. It was not a good episode at all. I was angry throughout because all of this crap is happening, and none of our people I root for, Daemon, Rhaenyra, any of those folks, know anything about it, and they don't show up at all. No screen time whatsoever. It is complete villain central, episode 9. And so I was like, man, this is terrible. This is just, by far the worst episode of the season so far, I feel. But we had to set up these things that had to happen, We had to place Aegon in power. We had to start a war, basically, and that's what's coming, folks. That's what's coming in the next episode. It's going to be all-out war. And, from the books, that we know that's what happens anyway. And so, I get that we had to set this up, but a whole episode, really? I mean, come on. So, yeah, episode 9 was a doozy, for sure. Bad folks all around, scheming and conniving and just downright doing dirty stuff. You can kind of tell Alicent's a little conflicted, but she still is much to blame in any of all of this as anybody. She's maybe not as evil as her father Otto, because he was even suggesting, once Aegon was king, of going through and basically purging out anybody that would stand against him, like Rhaenyra, Daemon, all of them. He wanted them. And so, which Alicent didn't want to happen. So, I'll give her credit for that, but all in all, she's still a dirtbag. And I'm just waiting patiently for somebody to whack Sir Christian Cole's head from off his shoulders. I need a rematch, people. I've been saying it since episode 1. I need a rematch between Daemon and Christian Cole, and let him finish him off. Just saying. Anyway, can't be so lucky. But, like I said, next Sunday night is the big finale, as they say, the season finale, episode 10. We're going to see how things come to a head and conclude, if they even do conclude. I kind of feel that as much things has happened and conspired in this last episode, that there's just a lot of things that have to happen to conclude. In next week's episode, I kind of feel we're going to end on a cliffhanger. I'm just saying, I kind of feel that this season's going to probably end with a cliffhanger and not wrap anything up, which is fine, because, I'm hooked already anyway, so. So, House of the Dragon, episode 9. That was the recap in my book and my opinion. We didn't get to go nowhere other than King's Landing in episode 9, which was garbage. as I always say down here in the cave, this has been my opinion, and opinions are like butts. Everyone's got one, and some of them stink. Goodbye.